listening to Holistic Travel Nurse Podcast. In this episode, I'm so excited to have a new friend, Tracy, on. And I'm going through this season where I am having people on who've had success on the scale and success with natural healing, with diet and lifestyle changes. And if you hear the dogs in the background, I live in an RV full time, and that's my dogs playing with their toys. It's how to keep them occupied. So squeak, squeak. But guess what? I want to work with you. I want to be a one-on-one health coach for you. Maybe you're going to listen to this podcast and you're having some health issues and you've been like her where you feel like you go see the doctor and you just get on meds, but you're not feeling the best that you want to feel. Physicians and doctors, unless you see a functional medicine practitioner, don't know how to coach you on healthy habits. That's what a health coach and a holistic nurse would do. And that's the cool thing is I can read the labs. You can bring me labs. We can sit down and all do this on the internet. I'm working on also making some e-courses for you guys, just so that you can know how to take care of your body and understand your body and give you all those tips and tricks for your health. So this episode, my friend Tracy's been successful on the scale and successful in getting off medications and managing her blood pressure. I mean, huge success with changing her life and going down that path where she was headed to many disease processes and complications from that and this and that. And she wouldn't take, you're just going to be on this med the rest of your life from her doctor. She explored all sorts of kind of diets, all sorts of kind of detoxing, and to figure out what is working for her body. So this is a really powerful episode. So stay tuned and give Tracy some love and some comments. Share this episode. If you share it or leave a comment, take a screenshot, email it to me at holistictravelnurse@gmail.com. You never know what you're going to get right back from me for doing that. I appreciate it. Keep up the good work. Keep oiling on. Hi, this is the Holistic Travel Nurse, and I'm super excited to have a new friend, Tracy, on. And Tracy has been doing the carnivore diet for, I think you said about a year and a half. Correct me if I'm wrong. And have lost 80 pounds and have gotten off most of her 9 prescription medications with lifestyle changes and took ownership of her health. So this is one you want to stay tuned, listen in, and hey, you might know somebody this might really help, or you are sitting there thinking, I want to get off some medications. Is it possible for me? And so this will hopefully be a good episode for you to stay tuned and listen to this incredible life-changing. I love that somebody took the initiative and has tried all this different stuff to manage your health. So thank you, Tracy, for being on the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So your blood pressure and your health issues started quite a few years back.
They did in 2008. Even before that, because I had put on weight, and as a child, I grew up and I wasn't overweight, but I had 4 children that even after having those 4 children, I still continued to put on weight. And putting on weight, I think, led to many of my health problems. Blood pressure, I was pre-diabetic, had really critically low potassium, and I'm not exactly sure why that was. Sometimes the doctors accused me of like throwing up or something, that they thought I was, being bulimic or something, but I wasn't.
And you had the thing called white coat syndrome. You'd get anxious just even seeing the physician. You didn't feel empowered when you went into the doctor's office, right? You felt...
Right. I had never been afraid, actually, until I had these conditions and been in the hospital. I did have to go to the hospital for the condition of my high blood pressure, and I had critically low potassium. So I did have to go in the hospital, and then they put me on medicines, all those medicines, and I got very scared, and I felt like I didn't get information that I needed to get healthy again. And with high blood pressure, of course, you don't really feel it so much
Mm-hmm.
as, you know, you go along. But then what clued me in that I needed to get checked was that my heart rate also went up to 120, and it was staying up, and I couldn't understand because I was relaxed and sitting down. And so the critically low potassium, I'm sure that's why that my heart rate went up so high. But that's when I went to get checked at the hospital and found out my blood pressure was way high.
And all the side effects and risk factors, and they scare you with all those things.
Yes.
And then all the side effects to the many medications you were on, how were those side effects?
Well, I felt good before I went in the hospital, and then when I came out, I was taking these medicines, and I couldn't get up off of the couch, and I couldn't get out of my bed without my blood pressure just bottoming out. And I would take it, and it would be super low because I was on all that medicine. And they told me at the doctor's office, oh, it's just your body. I'll have to take time to adjust, you know. And all I kept thinking was, I don't really want to adjust. I want to get off of these. But it was a long process.
And when you asked, did you ask the physician, hey, I want to get off some of these medications? What did they tell you?
Well, you'll have to be on them because you've got high blood pressure, you know. And so they didn't give me any information about losing weight. They didn't even say I needed to lose weight to get off of them or anything. I just was on my own, and I was trying to find answers. So I searched and searched for answers in any health venue that I could find online, partly, and just asking people and such.
Wow. And then you tried some different diets of sorts, trying to heal your body and get off medications. What kind of diets did you try?
Well, I tried like green smoothies, which I thought, oh, if I fill my body full of greens, I'll be healthy, because that's what I've been taught. Vegetables are the ultimate, most nutrient thing, but that didn't get me where I needed to go. I mean, I did lose a little weight, but I didn't get to where I needed to be. And then I did juicing also, which was more filling up my body with supposedly all these nutrients. But once again, it did not help. And I did lose weight along the way. I started walking, did Fitbit walking, and I'd walk like 12,000 steps a day. And that would lose some weight for me also, but I was not able to get off medicines. And so I did, after a certain period, lose enough weight that I think I was starting to get a little bit better. And then my doctor did start taking me off medicines. So I was happy about that, but I just wanted to be off of all of them. And so I just kept on searching, and I did a diet called Whole30 with, you know, just the fruits and vegetables and meats. And, but I was still filling my body full of sugars, because if you can have fruits, you've got fruit sugar. And I think the sugar was one of the main problems that I had, to where my blood pressure would not come down. And so I tried everything. I tried keto, I tried Weight Watchers, I tried really strange things like inclined bed therapy. I don't know if you've heard of that, but where you just incline your bed and at the top and sit in an angle or sleep at an angle. It's kind of weird. So I really don't like to talk about the weird things I did, but that was one weird thing.
Wow.
And so I searched for anything and everything I could find. And keto was nice. I mean, I lost some weight with it. You know, I would like lose 10 pounds with each thing I tried, kind of. So, and I would stay after it. I mean, I really tried hard. And then the different diets, though, like the keto, it still allows you to have a little bit of sugar, a little bit of carbs. Keto does, even though it's very low, like 20 carbs. It wasn't sustainable for me, for the reason of that I would, if I, you know, to me, I'm an abstainer. There's like a moderator and an abstainer. Some people can moderate how much they eat, you know.
Yeah.
Me, if I have one chip, I want the whole bag of chips. That kind of thing. So if I had a little bit of carbs with keto, I wanted more. And so it would fail for me. I would do it for a while, but then I couldn't keep it up. I would end up eating, 100 carbs a day or whatever. And then once I got off of it in that direction, it was hard to go back. So
And
I
then,
searched for something else.
and then slowly were you able to feel better with all these different diets? Did you feel any different? Or
I did feel a little bit better. I did, like each time I would lose some weight, I'd feel that much better. But I also knew that I was not getting to the point that I needed to get to be able to eliminate all medicine. So.
and you just want to get off, because I mean, 9 drugs is quite a bit.
It is. Yeah.
And the side effects to a lot of the blood pressure meds that you were talking about can be harsh.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've said, they're symptomatic. They're not a cure.
Right.
Unless if you want to live that way, you can choose to live that way and be on all those drugs and eat whatever you want. But in the end result, you're not having a better quality of health, right?
Right.
So everyone is totally different too. So everyone's had different success and different weight losses too. And this is about weight loss on the scale too. And what was good for you? What got you into carnivore?
Well, I had a friend mention it to me, and I thought it was the most absurd thing I'd ever heard of. You just eat meat. That's all you eat is meat. 0 carbs. There's no such thing as 0 carbs. I mean, I was just appalled that she mentioned it. But then I started researching it and found out that there's a lot of success going on with carnivore. A lot of people getting off medicines, a lot of people getting healed from all kinds of different things, losing all kinds of weight. I was really surprised. And so I thought, that's a great thing. I mean, it's not just meat. You can have eggs, you can have dairy, there's different levels of carnivore, I guess you could say. And I mean, the basic carnivore is meat and water, but some people, include dairy if they can tolerate it, and and eggs. Some people can't even tolerate eggs, but the meat is the main thing. And I prefer ruminant animals, which, have all the stomachs and everything, cows and like deer have that. I think it's like, I eat lamb too. That's a ruminant. It's very nutrient dense food, and you can eat the organ meats, and they're very high nutritional value, more so than the meat. But there are many carnivores that have, like 20-year carnivores that have been eating meat and not including the organ meats. And so it's, it's sustainable. They are younger than me, and I think they had some pretty bad health problems too in the beginning, but they didn't do the organ meats, and they still were able to do fine and be healthy.
And so now, what is a standard day for you with your diet? Just curious.
Oh, okay. I intermittent fast, because I started doing that too as another way to heal. And I usually do not eat breakfast, but at lunchtime, that's be my first meal. Are you wanting to know what I would eat? Or yeah. Like at lunchtime, I might have bacon and eggs, or I might have a hamburger patty. And then at supper, my husband and I rotate between steaks and hamburger dishes. And, sometimes it'll be like a soup with sausage, meatballs, and egg drop. That's one thing we like to have. I mean, there's a lot of, you wouldn't think there'd be a lot of recipes for a carnivore diet, but there are a ton of recipes. In the beginning, we ate a thing called egg loaf, and it was just like eggs and cream cheese and I think it was sour cream, because I haven't had it for a while, but we had vanilla, and it was sort of made like a quiche almost. It was a big fluffy thing that you baked in the oven, and you just smear it with butter. And we put cinnamon butter on ours, which some carnivores don't eat any other spices but salt, and a lot of them don't eat anything but salt, and some of them don't even eat salt. But spices are fine if you can tolerate them. So.
And then that has been the most successful with you with the weight loss and then reversing your high blood pressure and being off medications now for how long?
It's been, well, I started carnivore in October of 2018. It took about 3 months where I was able to like wean. And I was so surprised because one of the things, I was just watching my blood pressure. I wanted to watch my
Mm-hmm.
blood pressure because I knew the carnivore diet was healing. And around 3 months, my blood pressure started dropping and dropping. So I knew I had to reduce the medicine to be able to, not have that bottoming out type thing going on where I get dizzy and fall over or something. But yeah, my blood pressure started dropping.
Do you drink tea or coffee?
I actually do. I drink iced tea. It's pretty dilute, so it's not like drinking a whole, the all hot cups or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
no sweeteners, no artificial sweeteners, no honey, nothing like that.
Oh,
And my husband
cold
drinks
turkey.
coffee.
And he drinks black coffee or with a
He
little bit of
drank,
cream?
well, for a long time he drank it with cream. He loved it with cream, but lately we have gone kind of meat and water almost, and eggs. We have eggs too, but we cut out a lot of our dairy just to give us extra boost of health.
Wow. And so now you've become a coach and you help others because you feel like you didn't get the help you wanted seeing the physicians. You feel like you were just given prescriptions and that's not, and the prescriptions made you feel like crap, right?
Right.
But you asked them, when you asked your physicians, hey, I want to get off this med, they're like, no, you're not going to. You have high blood pressure. That's all you got.
Right. I even said, do I have to be on these forever or whatever? Can I get off of these? And they were like, well, you'll probably be on them for the rest of your life. That was the answer I got. And physicians, they don't spend but maybe 5 or 10 minutes with you most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they have no answers, especially about diet. They,
Mm-hmm.
They don't have answers. They didn't study nutrition at all.
Mm-mm.
So they just have their prescription pad. That's their main tool.
Absolutely. And did they have you see a nutritionist with the pre-diabetes at all or no?
No, I didn't. I wasn't even offered that or anything.
That would be nice if they would offer a health coach instead of a nutritionist anyways, because nutritionists, sorry nutritionists if you're listening, but some nutritionists just go by the standard and they're taught the standard American crap that is just a bunch of bullshit. That is by big pharma and big food industry, and that's it. So it's better to see a health coach and get the help you need with someone. So now you're helping others do the same. And your husband, what kind of success has he had with? Did he have any weight issues? Just curious.
Yeah, he did have not a lot. He's 6'4" and he's always been pretty thin, but he had put on some weight along with me. I mean, we had our ice cream binges and so forth that we ended up putting on quite a bit of weight with ice cream. And so he had, but he never looked bad because of his height. He was just, I think he may have been right now he weighs like 190. And I think he had gotten up to maybe 230 or 240, something like that. And he didn't look bad, not with his height. So.
Was he on any medications that now he's off of? Just curious.
No, he's never been on any medicine. He did have, well, I say that, but he did have like GERD. He slept with a big bottle of Tums right by his head all the time. And so he did have issues like that, but nothing that required a prescription.
Wow. So, you just saved your life with a lot with heart disease risk and now your blood pressure, you told me like when you went to the hospital because your blood pressure was 220 over 120. This is all we started before we recorded this. That is dangerously high. And then this took a long many year process and trying different, because I don't believe every diet is right for everybody, but this is what's helped you. And now your blood pressure maintains at what?
It's in usually 120 over 70s.
See, wow.
And it's been lower in the mornings. I mean, when I first get up in the morning, it's lower. It's like in the teens over low 70s usually.
That's remarkable, especially with the bottom number, because there's not even a medication that we treat with the bottom number. If you have a bottom number kind of being high, there's not a medication necessarily for that. In a sense, but there is medications for the top number, and yes, they make you feel like crap sometimes. And some people do okay. Some people have every single side effect you read on the bottles, or not the bottle, but the pamphlet.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dangers of, like, you could be walking around with hypertension and high blood pressure and not understand it's all the insides, what it's doing to your insides, and you would be totally symptomatic and
Mm-hmm.
not have any symptoms. And that's the bad thing. Same thing when I was just doing an episode, which I'm going to do an episode on, when it comes to having liver disease or fatty liver disease, and not understanding you could be walking around with it and not knowing you have it. And I believe I've said this before, that both cause of these are from diet and toxins,
Mm-hmm.
fatty liver, and then I believe hypertension. Of course, your physicians, unless they're maybe a functional medicine practitioner, aren't going to agree with you.
Right.
Did you see a cardiologist, or was it just a family practitioner?
It was an internal medicine doctor.
Okay.
So he was a specialist, I would say.
Wow, what a huge life change though now. And now, did you work out during any of this time period trying to manage your health besides walking?
I did do some weightlifting. My daughter's a personal trainer, and I did weightlifting with her, but that was only for a period of maybe 2 months, and then we kind of weaned away from it. But I did try to keep it up a little bit at home, but mostly I went to walking after that.
And so you've been down 80 pounds, and it took quite a few years to maintain and get to the weight you are now. So how many, it was a slow process, right?
It was very slow.
And a learning process that you had to just go, okay, well, this isn't working for me.
Right.
You had to look at your body and go, well, what works for me? What do I like? What do I feel best doing? What do I have more energy with? What do I feel more vitality wise? Along with your goal was get off the medications.
It was.
And did you do anything else supplementation wise?
Yes, I did try to do a lot of supplementation, because I thought that, like vitamin C, I tried, I didn't try anything like for weight loss, but I just tried to take like krill or vitamin C or vitamin D or different vitamins. I had a whole cabinet full of vitamins, just trying to feel better.
But the success was really with a lifestyle change and a diet change.
Yes, it was.
And it was a slow progression, which it is, because people don't think that, your body is recycling and changing those cells and wanting to heal. We just need to give it the right ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
And what is working for you is eating carnivore. Now, are you a ribeye girl?
I am. I love ribeye. It's one of my favorites.
And are you cautious about where you get your meat?
I am. I'm particular about that. I try to get grass-fed and grass-finished. Many carnivores do not. And many people heal without getting the grass-fed, grass-finished. The reason I get it is because I've read up on GMOs,
mm-hmm.
and I know that there's confined animal feeding operations, and I'm kind of sad about that. I don't really like knowing that they do that sort of thing to animals, because they should be out grazing on the grass and
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and living their life that way. But
do you eat fish?
We do we eat some fish, salmon mostly, but not a lot of fish. I should more. I really love to. In our area of the country, there's not like a lot of freshwater fish or anything. So, well, there's catfish, but I'm not big on catfish. So, but that's amazing.
Where are you at? What state are you in?
I'm in Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas. Okay. So you don't have, well, yeah. When I drove through Arkansas, it's like I live in an RV and I travel everywhere. So I've driven through Arkansas. I have a friend in Arkansas. I saw the big lakes, but I don't know where it was at. Off some interstate, there were some pretty big lakes.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys probably do boating in the summer when it gets hot and humid there.
Actually, I don't, but I know what you're saying. I love going to Florida actually in the summer to go to the beach, but we don't do boating.
Oh, I just happen to drive through that area. So like off the tangent here of weight loss, but now have you helped other people with the carnivore diet and have seen success in other people?
I have. I've been helping my daughter. She's got 5 children, and she's been working on her weight and trying to get it under control. And she doesn't have any health issues, but it's difficult for her because she has the 5 girls that, are around her home, and they're not used to eating just, a certain way. They're used to eating basically a standard American diet, which is kind of sad to me, but
It will catch up with you, right?
yeah. And so she has other foods around her, and that makes it hard for her.
Wow. Well, what an inspiration though that you have done though, because you really have, and what is the physician? I'm just curious. What has your physician said as he's been taking you off the medicine? Just keep doing what you're doing, obviously, probably.
Right. That's what he would say. And
Nothing other curious about, hey, what are you doing that you're dropping the weight and your blood pressure is looking better?
no, he hasn't said anything about it. He's just, he likes that my weight has dropped, and that's about all. And then of course, when I go to his office with the white coat syndrome, my blood pressure goes up, but I keep track of it like a week or so before, and I bring in my note and show him this is what my blood pressure has been running this week, and I'm doing fine. It's just up now because I'm nervous being at the doctor.
Absolutely. That's normal.
Yeah.
That's normal. Yeah. But what is success and your energy level? Have you felt like your energy level's gone up?
Yes, I have. And my husband's too. He's got more strength now. He was concerned as he was aging that he was losing muscle, and he thought, what's wrong? So after he started eating carnivore, which he's always been a meat eater and loves meat, but of course we had the vegetables and everything else, but now he's gaining muscle. I'm actually gaining muscle, not even doing weightlifting or anything, just because of the meat. The nutrition in the meat builds your muscle up, and so we're stronger, and we do have a lot of energy, and like I walk a lot.
Do you do bone broth?
We have bone broth. Yeah, we do that.
That's awesome. And it's awesome to see a huge change in it. You kind of took the initiative and said, well, forget you, doctor. I'm going to figure out what works for me. And like you were like on it, that you tried Whole30, you tried did you almost try veganism with like all this crazy juices and bought a juicer? I mean, not that juicing is bad and not that vegetables are bad. You just like that the animals should eat them and then you get the nutrients that way. So everyone's different. But you tried all these unique things, and you didn't just try them for like a couple of weeks. You tried these things for a long time period.
I did. And like the smoothies and the juicing, I learned as I did those that you cannot always eat spinach in your smoothies or always have kale in your juice. Because if you continue to eat the same green all the time, you will, have too many oxalate buildups, and it'll make you feel terrible. So I learned that you had to rotate your greens, and I didn't understand until going carnivore that the vegetables, the greens, a lot of them, especially spinach, has high oxalates. And so it's their defense system, and it can make you feel really bad.
There are some people that are more sensitive to oxalates. At one point. Yeah. And so now no fruit, no vegetables whatsoever in your diet, just meat.
Just meat. Yeah.
And eggs.
Yeah. And some dairy occasionally.
Sure, butter. We all love our butter.
Oh, yeah.
We all need a good, and probably some coconut oil to cook in, which is good. Or olive oil, either olive oil or coconut oil. Hopefully you get your good fats, some good omega-3s. And you've been doing this because you transitioned to all sorts of things before you went to this, and were one, trying to feel better, two, to get off your meds and lose a little weight. And so it was, I think I can applaud you that it's not necessarily the same diet for each one of us. So you can't say someone, oh, well, this is going to work for me. You have to treat your body as like a little science factory, and like you said, almost write a journal, keep track and what you're feeling. And you have to do it over 30 days, way over 30 days, to see if it actually is doing any difference for you. And then the healing takes time. The healing takes time. And then from 9 medications, I mean, that's just huge. There are a lot of people on here going, wait a second, I want off my blood pressure meds. And I want to, we want to encourage you that it's possible. And it's possible also to conquer the scale and not feel that scale is. It was funny because yesterday I didn't eat as well as I wanted to in certain things, but I'm doing a lot more intermittent fasting, and that's what is working for me right now. And I've been consistently thinking about being on the scale, and I just look at the numbers going, okay, well, I'll give it bad or take it as it is. This is what it is. A lot of it can be water fluctuating back and forth, especially high salt. If you have a lot of salt or sugar, increase your insulin. And so when I go down, I like to do it in the morning. I don't know about you. I don't know if you track your weight as much as I am, because I'm trying to get the numbers still lower on the scale. And so I was shocked to see, and then I'm seeing success. And then you give yourself success. And then you also see, well, this didn't work and this didn't work. I didn't feel great with this way, eating this. I know I can't. Everyone should be eating sugar. It's horrible for you. Just like aspartame is absolutely horrible for you. Diet soda is, well, I do stevia. So I do stevia drinks, but aspartame and Splenda are horrible for you. And you live in a south area. I'm in the southern area too. And I just see an increase, and we're going to see this increase of disease processes where nobody is getting educated if they see a physician on their health and to get off medications and feel better or actually lose the weight. They're just be giving pills. And I think we're going to see an increase in coaches, because people in my podcast or other people's podcasts where they're going to get educated and tips to really make the moves and know that it's possible for them. And they're not alone, and they can reach out, they can get the help. And if they take their health as their priority, then you'll see the changes.
I have a great passion, and that's why I became a coach, because I just would want to help anybody that's in that desperate situation that I felt like I was in, because I didn't get help with my health. I just got given prescriptions. So I know how that feels. You just feel neglected or whatever. And I was kind of depressed, and I didn't realize I was depressed until I went on carnivore and found out that, wow, eating meat helps my psyche, I guess you would call it. And I feel so much better, and I can, everybody has stresses in life, and I do too. But now that I've been eating meat, I'm better able to cope with those stresses.
And it's been 1.5 years that you've been carnivore. So that's really cool. It's not just a couple month period, ladies and gentlemen, that she's been doing this. And she's done all of those other things. So she's figured out what's best for her for the scale and what's best for her to get off this blood pressure meds. So it is about what you're putting in and on your body. Are you probably really cautious about what you put on your body and your products too?
I am.
Now that you feel like you've been educated, and you probably feel like most of all the rest of us, so like big corporate America doesn't care. You have to care about yourself, and you have to do the research, and you have to be the smart shopper. So you have to do the legwork, and you can't think that you're going to go get it from the white coat from your doctors. You're not. Right. And they're not given that much time with the way that no hands down to the physicians. They're not given that much time because they're bound by insurances to spend with you. And 2, they've not had any nutrition classes. Unless you see a functional medicine person. So that's the deal. And I bet you felt pretty scared too. I mean, if you could take it back to when you had to go to the hospital, and you were probably non-symptomatic when you went in and didn't even think, oh my gosh, I'm at risk for a stroke, Right.
No, I didn't think that. I just felt good. You don't feel badly with high blood pressure. And that's why they call it the silent killer. So.
Yeah. And when you think about it, it's actually higher in women sometimes than it is in men. So hands down to you, because I mean, you're a risk factor for now, and now you're not pre-diabetic anymore. So you just destroyed all those possible side effects and issues, that kidney possible issues or stroke risk or cancer risk, all have gone down, greatly with your lifestyle changes and kind of done the legwork. So thank you, Tracy. So if someone wants to reach out to you when they want to learn a little bit more how to do carnivore correctly, how would they reach out to you?
Well, I would say go to meetrx.com. That's where I'm a coach. And you can schedule a session with me, or if you want to just like join the website, they have that available. And there's many benefits to joining, and they have a forum, and they have daily Zoom meetings, and that will help people, like the morning meetings. Today we had 50 people on our morning meeting.
That's very neat.
And they can ask questions and learn.
So maybe they've tried the other things, and maybe they want to try this, and maybe they're already feeling like they love meat anyways, and this would be the best way. I do think that people withdraw from carbs, and it takes a long time to feel better too. If you've been a huge standard American diet and eating lots of processed foods, you're going to not feel so good for a while, and as you adjust into a different lifestyle of eating. So I bet you warn people all about that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. But I thank you for being on the podcast. Thanks for sharing this, impactful story of your life, that you're a testimonial. That, I mean, just ladies, from not just, it's not always just even about the scale. It's about those numbers that really matter too, your health. And did you get cholesterol, and has all those things changed, your cholesterol and all your lab work? How are those looking? Have they talked about that with you? I'm just curious.
All of them have been fine, so they have not addressed anything.
So they've all been fine. See? And so they probably weren't in the beginning when you had your high blood pressure.
Right.
You were probably concerned you had a low potassium from a diuretic medication that it didn't matter how much potassium you're taking in, your body was just getting rid of all of it with that medication. And they thought it was you, and they didn't want to think it was a medication. Sometimes you have to speak up for yourself and realize your physician doesn't know everything. So just, your body. So, thank you for being on, and thanks for just being an inspiration and showing us that it's possible. 80 pounds and off meds is just an incredible inspiration. And I think there'll be other people that will listen to this and inspire them to make the change. And you can always reach out to me at holistictravelnurse@gmail.com, or you can go to my website. All of this will be in the show notes. You can literally just click down to the show notes and find a way to contact Tracy or I. So thank you for being on.
Thank you, Naomi.